Thank you for having me, Esther. Ironically, as we celebrate the release of the hostages today from Russia, we also have to turn our attention to the hostages that have been suffering since October 7th. So my first thought are with the hostages in the sense that where does the ceasefire talks, stand? Like, where will the hostages fall as we think about moving forward? So the direct aftermath to your direct question, it's still, I agree with Secretary Austin. There needs to be more information collected. There are things that we simply don't know, and I don't think that people should rush to think about escalation. I think we should be cautious and make sure that all of the intel is correct because the region is already engulfed in so much conflict. The last thing that needs to happen is more escalation fearing.
And what do you think would be the implications of Haniyeh's death to the Hamas group?
The implications are large. Going back to the ceasefire, you have a situation where Israel absolutely 1000% wants its hostages back. And you have a situation where Hamas's military leadership is being decimated. So right now, unfortunately, the only leverage that Hamas has are the hostages. So what's the incentive? So that's the question here. I know for a fact that the United States wants this war to end. I know that for a fact.
And,
But
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Esther, go ahead.
Well, how does this new development then, impact the negotiations that were ongoing for a ceasefire and also for the release of the hostages?
I won't sugarcoat it. It's complicated. It was complicated before this happened. And I just kind of want to frame this for people that we're talking about what happened to Haniyeh. And as I'm sitting here right now, I still don't think that Israel has claimed that assassination. Now, right before that, Israel did claim killing Hezbollah's number 2 because of an attack that killed 12 Israeli children. So it's this constant back and forth, this cycle of retaliation. And to my mind, that is what needs to stop. It's a combination of making sure the hostages get back safely, that there is some level of a ceasefire, and this constant back and forth retaliation. It's just, it's not solving anything. If anything, it's making things worse.
And do you think there'll be an escalation of this kind of situation when we already have the Middle East is already at war, Israel and the Hamas group? Do you see that affecting, the larger global community?
Iran is angry. Haniyeh was killed during the inauguration of their president. So symbolically, not just tactically, but symbolically, Iran is feeling incredibly bruised. So I can't sit here and speak for what Iran may do. We've seen what they are capable of doing, when they launched the attack. And who's to say that they won't continue with something very similar? I don't know. I can't speak for what their military tactical plans may or may not be. But we do have evidence that they are capable of retaliating. And I'm just hoping that cooler heads will prevail to jump in and to really strategically stop this constant cycle of retaliation. Because, like I said before, that isn't going to solve any problems in the region. It's just going to exacerbate the already chaotic situation.